Thank you for joining us today. This is probably the first opportunity that Marnie and I have had to meet you sort of face to face, even though it's electronically. So, welcome to ExCITE, and we're looking forward to working with you today and on the 12th. And obviously then when we see you all face to face in Raleigh at the end of July. So we're so pleased that you're able to join the ExCITE project, and we're hoping to be able to work with you through the next year and help you implement AP CSP with your students and to support you during that time. And we hope you have as much fun as we hope we will have with working with all of you. The ExCITE project has been running since 2019, so we've got quite a few years of experience, and each year we try and fine-tune, and each year we try and improve what we're doing, and we always welcome feedback from participants in any way that we can perhaps improve what you think is happening and how we're interacting with you or how the work is going. So at any time, feel free to provide feedback on how we could better help you and how we could better support you. Our role is to try and make sure that we do the best we can to help you do the best you can with your students. The PD is in 3 segments, as you probably remember. Today's is an introduction to SNAP, and it's aimed at people who are relatively novice programmers. So it'll be fairly slow, fairly steady, with lots of opportunities for you to be able to share your successes and to be able to ask questions as we go along. Today's session is in 3 parts. Part 1, which obviously is the very beginning part. Part 2 is slightly more advanced. And part 3 is self-paced. That's the part that you'll actually do in your own time over the next couple of weeks at your leisure. But at any time with part 3, where you're working independently, you obviously can call upon us for help and clarification and assistance, and we'd be happy to do so. Either Marnie or myself or one of the other lead teachers will always be happy to hop on a Zoom call to go through any loose ends that you're encountering during part 3. We will have a break, a restroom stretch break after part 1, so that we'll have a chance to go away and top up our coffee or tea or whatever you need for refreshments going forward. Marnie, I know, has got her coffee. I have mine already here and ready to go. But we will have probably a 10-minute break halfway through. And our target is to finish by 12 o'clock. We generally try and finish a little before then, but we're not going to rush things. We're trying to make sure that you will feel comfortable working with SNAP, and that's our main goal for today. So let's have a look. There's one message.
Oh, it's me.
Oh, okay. Oh, the slide deck. Thank you. Well, I'm going to hand over to Marnie, because then she can explain the why you have a slide deck.
So the slide deck is it's just for your information. You can keep that as we go through what we're going to be doing today. So I'll have my screen up, and my screens will be set so that you can see the slides and do the activities and things like that. So I'll try to kind of help make sure that you can easily access everything you need. If it's possible at all for you to have an extra monitor, it tends to be more helpful when you're working this virtual kind of thing that we're doing. So Tony, is it okay if we do like quick introductions?
Sure. I was just wondering, oh yes, let's do quick introductions. Don't let me forget that we have to introduce Megan after the introductions, though.
Okay. So I'm Marnie Hill. I work at North Carolina State University, and I have been working with Beauty and Joy of Computing since 2014. Barbara's here. Barbara Froelich is here, and she's one of my my colleagues, my BJC colleagues, but I'm interested in hearing. I guess she wants to do the robotic stuff, so that's going to be cool. So, and I've been working with Tony, what, is this our 4th year? What, you're muted. It's okay.
6 years.
6 years. Oh my goodness. It's been a while. So we've been working together for a while. The years have kind of run together. Um, but this is a really fantastic program. I really enjoy working with it. I do teach one course a semester of AP Computer Science Principles and Cybersecurity. I am still kind of in the classroom, but I do teach virtual. And I'm going to bounce over to, is it Capricia? And go ahead and introduce yourself and then bounce to someone else.
Okay, good morning, everyone. My name is Capricia Matthews. I'm currently a teacher at high school teacher at 71st High School in Fayetteville. Having taught computer science for 1 full year on last year, and this will be my new one, a new course for me going into AP Computer Science and also robotics and a little of AI. Not sure what else to say. Oh, I have 20 years under my belt. I don't know what else to say, but I'm definitely looking forward to learning. I am a complete new learner to all of this. Just because I taught 1 year doesn't mean that I'm an expert or even a novice person. But I am looking forward to a lot of help. I ask a lot of questions for clarity. And again, I'm looking forward to it. And if it's okay with you, I'd like to bounce it over to my coworker, Miss Francine Avery.
All right, good morning, everyone. Prior introduction. My name is Francine Avery, and I too teach at 71st High School in Cumberland County, Fayetteville, North Carolina, Cumberland County. I'm new to computers as well. This is a very interesting program. I previously worked with the Hummingbird Kids. So I'm just excited. I just want to absorb and take in everything that there is to learn and more. So I'm excited about the program. Thank you.
Mhm. Okay, we can bounce over to Reggie.
Good morning. My name is Reggie Thompson. I am a engineering and technology teacher at the DeKalb County School Systems, where I teach, engineering and technology. I've been teaching this is my 17th year. I came from industry where I was a computer network engineer. And in college, I worked in a computer lab, but I did not do any programming. So I had some programming classes, but this is kind of new to me. So that's it for me.
Okay, welcome.
Thank you. I will bounce it over to Lauren.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Lauren. So for me, I'm a technology teacher also. I teach a AP class. I've been teaching for 7 years now. My background was in electrical and electronics engineering. And so I had basic machine programming learning knowledge. But now for the past 2 years, I've been teaching an AP class, and I'm just always looking to learn the latest. This is my first time working with the Hummingbird kids or even hearing about them. So this is great. And I'm just looking to learn all I can so that I could present it to my class and school and things like that. I'm out of Minnesota and I work at Hopkins High School. And let me see, I will pass it to, I'm looking around. I see B. Frolic. Is that okay?
Barbara, you're up.
Barbara. Okay.
I know her, so I know her first name.
Yeah, hi. My name is Barbara Froelich. I'm a teacher in New Jersey. I teach at Pequannock Township High School. I've been a teacher for 18 years, and for the past 12 years, I've been a computer science and engineering teacher. I know Marnie because I was one of the teachers that worked with her for the beauty and joy of computing. And my what I'm interested in is I've never worked with hummingbird kits. I've done different Arduinos and microbits, but not hummingbirds. So I'm looking forward to that. My background is I came from industry a number of years ago. I was a database designer, and I could go on, but that's it for me right now.
Okay, is it Felicia?
Do I have to pick someone or?
Yes.
Okay, you got someone. All right.
Yes, my name is Felicia Spearman, and I have been teaching for 19 years. And I teach Chatham County High School in rural Southeast Georgia and Title I school. So we are just getting programs at our school. So we don't have any engineering pathway. So I'm the computer science engineering person at our school now. I've taught high school math for 15 years, and then I recently switched over to computer science. So I know a little bit of coding, but I don't know as much about like the hummingbird and the actual physical object. So it's gonna be kind of interesting because that part's gonna be difficult for me.
All right, thank you. Hopefully we're gonna make it something that's easy. It's super fun, so we're gonna have fun. And then we have Andrew.
Hi, I'm Andrew Haynes. I'm a 18th year teacher. I teach at Ewing High School in Ewing Township, New Jersey, and I'm a robotics teacher. I've taught technology my entire time, but interestingly enough, my undergraduate's in music education. So kind of in a weird position for this, but I spent majority of my career teaching technology. I right now teach Vex robots and Rev robots, so it'll be nice to add another robot to the mix. And I've never really done computer science. I've done block-based coding, but never a full computer science class, so that'll be cool for me.
Very fun. Yeah, well, music has a lot of kind of math and logical. I mean, there's a process, there's algorithms, there's patterns. So it's got a lot to do with computer science. So that pattern recognition and things like that going on. Okay, I think it's Nanette's turn.
Hi, yeah, it's Nanette. Yeah, I teach in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. Been teaching chemistry for about 12 years. I taught math before that. And I have tried for years and years to get someone to teach AP computer science principles, and no one would step up to it. 3 technology teachers and no one would do it. And I'm like, whatever, I'm going to do it. And so colliding pathways was to get into computer science and out of the chemistry classroom, which has a very loud HVAC system. And so I made it work, and now I'm hopefully moving over to the math department and computer science.
Very cool. Very cool. Tony, you've already introduced yourself, right? Yep, you're muted.
Hi, Tony Gordon. I started teaching in 1972, probably before a lot of some of you would have been born. So I've had a few years in education. Started as a science teacher and a tech ed teacher, and moved into administration. And as you can probably tell from my accent, that I'm from the Upper Peninsula of Michigan. So. Okay, just kidding. Though I did work in Michigan for 25 years, so maybe there's a slight Michigan twang. I've been involved with Hofstra since 2009 when I retired, and have been involved in a lot of professional development programs for technology and engineering teachers ever since. But my love way back when I was a classroom teacher was to teach to use computers in my tech ed classrooms when they were emerging in 1979. We were the first school in our district to have an Apple II. Nobody knew what to do with it, so they gave it to the math teacher, who very quickly said, "I don't want this," and gave it to me. But since that time, I've been heavily involved in computing, of using computer control in science. So this to me is a perfect marriage, helping tech ed teachers implement computer control through a really interesting and viable course. And not only that, one that we have already seen from our research increases enrollment in tech ed classrooms. When you put an AP moniker on a class, it is a double-edged sword. There are some students who say, I can't do AP, but we can help them overcome that. But there are other students who say, oh, that's AP, I'll do that class. So we're actually seeing tech ed teachers with increased enrollment, which is one of the one of the byproducts we were hoping we might achieve, where we could increase the viability of tech ed classrooms and courses in high schools. But anyway, enough about me.
Okay, so I'm going to turn this over to Megan. And Megan, once you introduce yourself, if you want to go ahead and talk a little bit about how you are a part of this program.
Sure, and I apologize that my camera's not working. I had a lot of updates last night, and I don't know what's going on. I've been troubleshooting it, but it's not coming on. So my name is Megan Garvin. I actually am in Maryland, originally from New Jersey, but I'm the Associate Director of Research and Evaluation for the Maryland Center for Computing Education, and we state mandated with state funding, work with all of our school systems and all of our teacher preparation programs, both public and private, to elevate our computing skills of our teachers across the state. And so we work with computer science teachers, engineering teachers, foreign language teachers, anyone who really wants to elevate their skills. And so we use what's called the SCRIPT process, and SCRIPT stands for the Strategic CS for All Resource and Implementation Planning Tool. So we'll be working with all of you and your school, so your principal who is already aware of this project, as well as any other people at your school level, other people who are teaching computer science, your guidance counselors, whoever does your scheduling, to really try to increase and broaden participation so that more students are aware of your course and are going to then come in and be introduced to computer science through this really great program. So we had plenty of schools last cohort go through it, and we're actually in the middle of writing up that whole report of how well it really helped and supported the teacher in another way. And really, so you don't feel like you're an island on your own at your school. You have this cohort of colleagues that you'll be working with, but then we'll also try to get more people at your school level involved and try to help support and recruit into your class. So if anyone has any questions, let me know, but I'll only be here for a few more minutes and then I have to go. I have a wedding to go to.
And we will have Megan with us. She'll be at the PD. Well, not at the PD. She'll come in and do a chat at the PD as well. So if you don't have questions now and you think of some questions, just kind of write them down and hold on to them. We can get those answered for you about how that process will work.
Great. Thank you, and have a wonderful meeting today. And just know that this is a very supportive team. Anytime you need anything, just let us know. Thank you.
Thank you, Megan. And have a great time at the wedding. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and get started here. You should have, I do see that people have gotten into the slides. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen, and we'll kind of go through we're going through. Let me just pull up my screen first. Let's do that. Let's do that first, Marnie. Let's not get ahead of ourselves. Okay. And let me set you all up so I can see everybody the way I want to see them. It takes me just a moment. I have to do this every time I sign into class. I teach online. I had about 13 schools last semester take the AP Computer Science principles with me. Sadly, I can't use the ExCITE curriculum with them because I would have to then send every single child a kit, and that saddens me because I think it would be fun. But I do teach to rural students across the state of North Carolina, and it's been a good opportunity, and it helps me with my passion of wanting all students to have the ability to take computer science classes and have that. So let's go ahead and get started. I have let me make sure my slides are the right slides. Goodness gracious, come on, show me my slides. I've got to get my tool deck set up just right. Okay, good. We are on the right slides. I can check that. I see it. We're good. If for any reason my stuff goes away or doesn't look like it's supposed to look, go ahead and pop it in the chat and things like that, or stop me. I'm okay with being stopped. That's not a problem. I'm not a person that has to have everything quiet. So let's see, just getting everything adjusted here. All right, I am good. Let's go. We're going to be doing an introduction to SNAP. Quite a few times we've had our teachers express that they wish that they had a little bit of more training, in-depth training before they get to the PD. And so we have chosen to do this. This is very basic, very introductory. So let's get into it. And we're doing another slide with the introductory. Okay, so what we're going to be getting into is computational thinking. When I was speaking about the Andrew was talking about music and things like that. We want to think about our courses that we are teaching. It seems like you all are teaching some different courses as well. My degree is in accounting. And so, you know, where in that, when I'm teaching my students some other courses, can I find pattern recognition, algorithms, decomposition, and abstraction, right? And it runs through our curriculums in the schools and things like that. And so we're going to kind of focus on computational thinking, that problem-solving process. We want our students to learn those. That's a great skill to have, whether or not they go into computer science and stick with computer science. It doesn't matter. These are great skills for them to have. Just learning how to see things, learning how to decompose problems so that they can build and create. Now, we are not set up here to do pair programming. This is not going to be a part of today, but we do have pair programming that we will be getting into when you get to campus. When you all come to North Carolina and see me. Yay. Well, we have North Carolina people here, but when everybody gets together in Raleigh. And so we have this pair programming and you'll be able to do that. I'm not going to run the video. You all can take a look at that if you'd like. This video is from code.org. We have a couple of other videos that you can take a look at in different places. I can point them out to you if you want to use something different. But it's nice. It's good. When you are pair programming, you're going to make sure that you're, respectful. You talk with each other. You explain what you're doing. Those types of things. We have our don'ts. Don't be a bossy navigator. Grab the mouse, the keyboard. Be respectful to your partner. And for me, in my school, I had to really talk about this. Have poor physical hygiene. So this is a slide that I would use for my students, and I have had to address this. And so, and I've had parents that have thanked me greatly in in addressing this, because when you're close together and you're having to work together, you just gotta be clean. Anyway, so that was just why that's on there. It has nothing to do with you all, but anyway, we'll move on. Our goals for today, we're going to learn about pair programming. So I talked a little bit about it. We're not going to be able to do it so well. Maybe we'll split you up into breakout rooms, but I think we're kind of just going to code along right now with each other and kind of do more of a mirroring kind of thing, because we're just stepping into the curriculum, and I want to make sure that you all are happy with where you're at and you're comfortable with where you're at. Get comfortable with Snap, experience the Snap interface, and then so we're going to do a draw square, and then we're going to do an interactive narrative. Okay, so where you're going to introduce yourself to your students. Okay, so that's kind of where we're going to go with it. And we're going to learn a little bit about some of the things that Snap can do. For those of you who are understand or have been in industry and have coded before, Snap, yes, is a block-based programming language, but it is a pretty heavy-duty block-based programming language. And it can do recursion, higher order functions. It can do some really cool stuff. But that's not what we're going to focus on today. So today we are going to continue. Let's go on to the next slide. So we're going to do that draw square. And if you've already had some Snap knowledge, this is to refresh that. If you haven't had Snap knowledge yet, this is going to just be a nice slow beginning to get into it and learn the interface while drawing a square. Okay. And then the second activity would be the introduce yourself, where you're having the computer kind of talk back and forth, or you're talking to you're introducing yourself, and there's some interaction with the computer talking. So again, it's going to be a little different here. We're not going to be doing the driver navigator unless we do decide we want to do some breakout rooms. But I think it's been a little bit more successful just kind of going through and walking through these pieces. Now, once we are finished with an activity, we're going to come back and we're going to reflect on that. And so when you get into doing the stuff, be kind of putting on your student hat. How does this feel? How do I understand? And don't worry so much about the teacher hat right now. We'll come back to that and reflect on that after you kind of feel the student, you're wearing the student hat. Think about where your students might struggle and things like that. Okay? Okay. All right, so as you can see, we've got some shapes that are being drawn here in the project demo. The first shape you see is a square, then we have a triangle, and then what was that, a hexagon? Polygon? Some other polygon. We'll just move on. But the first thing we need to do is we need to be able to sign into Snap. So if you go to bgc.techlit.org, and I will go ahead and do the same thing. You'll notice it comes up to this interface right here. And we've got the BJC curriculum, the BJC teacher guide, and I know that we're working with ExCITE. So these are the curriculum and the teacher guide that go along with the robotics pieces. But what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to go ahead and click Run Snap Now. And that should bring you to this screen.
Marnie, I wonder if I could just stop just momentarily. Nanette was having difficulty with the slide deck. Can we just find out if you've been able to get that solved? Oh, she has. Okay, don't worry, we're fine. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Tony. All right. So if you're on this screen, you click the Run Snap Now. After a while, you learn the code and it just pops up when you start typing it in. And so we're here, and what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and sign up. If you have not signed up, that's fine. If you're already signed up, just bear with us while we're getting everybody signed up. We're going to click this cloud here. And we're going to click sign up. And so go ahead and put your username in, whatever you want to type in. So as a username, and do your birth. Oh, that's nice. 2005 and before. I like that. I'll have to go search. Because although I was born but I was born by the time Tony was teaching high school. I to that, it just goes back really far. So, and then go ahead and put your email address, your password, and do a repeat password. Okay. And go ahead and put your password in, and then you'll want to click your I have read the terms and agreement, or the terms of the service, and then click OK. Now you should receive an email that will it'll do an email verification. I think if you within the first 3 days, you need to make sure you have I think it's the first 3 days. You go ahead and you verify that email, otherwise it'll stop for a minute and then we'll have to get you untangled. But go ahead and make sure that you verify your email address within the first 3 days. So once you have that and you get that, I'm going to give you all a moment. And there's a way of doing this without you all having to sign in. So if your schools are a little fussy about having students sign in and things like that, that's fine. We'll talk about how to have them work in the program, and they can save to their browser, and they can also download their files as XML files if the district allows, or they can use a USB drive to download files onto or save to.
Marnie, sorry to interrupt again. I'm now an administrator in SNAP, and so when we're in Raleigh, I will work with you all to make sure that you're registered as teachers within the SNAP system. You can then pull up a panel that will allow you to enroll all of your students. And that way we avoid the whole issue of personally identifiable information and all of the mess that sort of associates that. You will be able to use your email address, but block register all of your students so they have access to SNAP without contravening any district policies, and no external emails having to be responded to by the students. But we'll go through all of that in Raleigh. Thank you, Marnie.
Yeah. And that's also a good note. There is a way that you'll be able to have a classroom collection of the programs and things like that for your students, and they can add their work to that that folder and everything like that. So we'll talk about this this stuff that you'll be able to do as a teacher in the background on the on SNAP and the SNAP form site. So it's some really cool stuff that is kind of I'm learning about. I learn something new every year. So I've already learned something new this summer before working with you all, which I will share with you because it makes things so much easier when we get to it and we need it. All right. So is everybody signed up? If everybody signed up, go ahead and give me a thumbs up or whatever. Okay, good. Let's go ahead and then move on into getting signed in. So if you're signed up, go ahead and log in. And I do cybersecurity, so now my password is ginormously long and really silly, but it's okay. Sometimes SNAP will kind of push you out or log you out. You can click stay signed in on this computer. And if you would like to do that, I prefer to do that. It helps keep it signed in, but sometimes it'll bounce you out. So when this cloud is now opaque, that means you know that you are in the system and that you are logged in. Okay. All right, so let's go into the next slide. We're going to talk about sharing your project. Okay, to share your project, I know we don't have a project yet, but we're going to kind of go over this. To share my project, if I were to make a project like move and point and whatever, and I wanted to share this project, I would click my file and do my save as, and I'm just gonna say share 2025. Okay, and so I'm gonna save it. Once I have it saved as share 2025, and you'll see it up here, this is just a basic snap URL. It does not have the project name. It does not have my name. When I go to share a project, I'm going to click again, save as. I'm going to go down to my my project here. Let me go ahead and let me just retype it in, and hopefully it'll pop up for me. SHA. No, it's going to make me go look for it. I have to clean house. I have a lot of projects in here. I've been doing this since I was since 2014. So I have a lot of projects, but I'm going to come down here to my S's. Okay, I've got my share. This is a project I want to share. I'm going to click share. Yes, I want to share it. Now you notice that we have a publish, and this is going to be something we're going to use with our collection in our teacher classroom, but don't worry about this right now. Just know that it's here and it pops up when the project gets shared. Now I'm going to save the project, and oh, yeah, that's fine. I just resaved it. And if you notice in the URL, I know it's kind of small, but the URL now has my username for Snap and the project name. Okay. And so this means I have a project that's shareable, and if I sent it to you, you would have my code on your screen. So this would allow you to open up my this Snap project. Now, does that mean that you all can go in and make changes? Sure, you can go in and make changes, but it's not going to change my project. It'll only if you save it will it do changes, and then it'll be under you. Okay. So this is the way to share, and we are going to be working on sharing the projects and everything like that. We're going to want you to share things with us to make sure that you're in a good place with sharing and publishing and all the things, all the ways to share projects. There is a way to share a project. Now, let me talk a little bit about this. Let me go back. If I share the project with you like this, I can go and change the code, and the code will automatically update the next time you open the project. So if I go to change the code in this project after I've shared it, and you see this code first, and then I go put more code into it, it will update the project. Okay. There is another way. So if you don't want your students updating their project, there's another way to share it as an XML file. And we'll learn more of that when we get together in Raleigh, and we'll go a little bit deeper into that. But there is a way to export the project, and that would be under our file tab here, and we just export our project, and that shares it as an XML file that we drag it back into the interface here, and it will then bring that project, and that project cannot be changed. That project will be the same every time it's put in. The student can't go and update that project after they've turned it in. So I don't use that part in my classroom. Get your project done. If it's not done or you need to go fix it, and then let me know, you know, that I do a different way. I don't use that part, but some people do. So, and that's fine. I do. Okay, let me take that back. I do use it sometimes, but only if it's like a test or something and I want them to do something and and they're not really getting their things together. So I'll use it in different ways, but most often I share this way and I have my students share this way with me. Okay. All right, so now I'm going to toss this code away and watch how I do this. I'm going to take it and just drop it over. So if you have worked with block-based programming languages before, you just take them, you drag it in here, you drag them back over to get rid of them. You can right-click. Right-clicking is your friend. So you can right-click on things and do the same stuff. You have an undo button that's right here. So if you lose something or you need to undo, it will undo. So don't panic. The hotkeys work on most of this, most of the interface here. Okay. All right. So now you're going to go into the next slide. We're getting back into the pair group programming. And so we have a teacher that's going to drive and a teacher that's going to navigate. We're not, again, not doing that. But with our students, sometimes it's easier. They have those really tiny screens and things like that. So sometimes it's easier to have a student pull up the directions on one of their slides, and the driver is the person that pulls up the snap, and the navigator will guide the driver and go through the process that way. Okay, so that's how we get the students to work together, and it tends to be a great way to get them talking and working together and everything. And with the robotics, they're going to be working together because some of them are going to need to be sharing some sensors and things like that. And so it's going to be a nice environment that will develop with the students kind of bouncing ideas off of each other and how do we do this? And so it is going to be a busy classroom for you. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to get started. Oh gosh, I'm not showing the slides. Y'all. Okay, so now we're going to get started. I am on slide 13, I think. Oh no, come back here. Hang on.
I was seeing the slides, Manny.
You were? Okay. All right, so let me go back. I need to make sure I'm in the right spot. My apologies. Okay. What we're going to be doing now is we're going to be doing like drawing a square, and let's go ahead and get into that. So use your blocks to transform a sprite, and we want to select the motion category from the palette. We do have colors, but we also have the words. So if you're if the colors are good for you, be careful. There's two different kinds of blues, and the control and the variables are kind of similar in color, and the looks and the sound are similar in color. Pin and operators are also similar in color. So just be aware of that. So this is your these are your tabs, and these are where you're going to go to get your palette, your blocks. I'm sorry, your blocks are going to happen. And this right here is your scripting area. And we're going to take, let's go get a select motion category from the palette. Okay, and then we're going to click and drag, move 10 steps and turn 15 degrees. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to split my screen up a little bit. And I'm going to get the directions on one side. Ooh, let's do that. Here we go. Okay, I've got the directions on one side, and then I've got my palette over here. My palette's kind of big, or my stage is kind of big here, so I'm gonna make it as smaller because I want to be working on code. All right, so we're gonna select motion, and then we're gonna do our move 10 steps and turn 15 degrees. So that's what we're gonna go and do. Move 10 steps and turn 15 degrees. Okay, and this is my scripting area. This is my sprite corral. It's got my stage and my sprites in it. All right, everybody good? You want to click them together. And then we're going to, oh, no, we don't want to click them together. Just kidding. We got to click on each of them and see what it does. All right. So you see that the sprite's moving 10 steps. It's not moving very far, right? And it's not turning very far. We can just keep clicking on it, and your students will do that. And then they'll lose their sprite. And if they lose their sprite, you can right click on the sprite and click show, and it'll bring the sprite back onto the main area here. Okay, now we're going to go into the next slide. And we're going to click to type the number 50 in the move block. So let's go ahead and get our move block and type 50 into that. And what does that do? Somebody check out what that does and let me know. So I had 10 in here, and it only moved a little bit, right? And now I put 50 in here, and now we're moving 5 times as much, right? Yeah, definitely. Good. All right. So now we want to do we want to update the turn block, and we want that to rotate 90 degrees, right? Because we're trying to draw a square. And what are the angles on a square? Yeah, they're all 90 degrees, right? Okay, cool. So let's go ahead and put that. And there's different ways to do this, but right now we're just focusing on how we're going to build this square. And we're thinking, okay, we need to draw a line, and then we need to turn because we have to put an angle in, right? So let's go ahead and put those together. I'm going to bring I'm going to drag my sprite back up here a little bit. Make this bigger so you can kind of see it. So it did the thing and then it turned. But I can't really tell. What it's really doing because it's moving and turning, right? So let's go ahead and get into our next slide here. We want to go ahead and save our code. Okay, this is really good because your students will forget to save, and then what will happen is they'll turn off their computers and their code won't be saved, and then they'll be so sad the next day because they won't have their code. And so reminding them to save their code often is good. So let's go ahead and now do a save. We're going to be saving our draw square. And remember, we're going to go to the file because we're signed in. If you're not signed in, you'll need to be sure you're signed in. This needs to be opaque and not transparent, okay? So we're going to click our little file here, and we're going to go down, and we're going to do save as. And I've got a new thing that I'm doing. I'm doing draw square. And you can do draw square, like I'm doing camel case here. You can put spaces in. Snap doesn't care. However you want to save it, you save it. But I'm going to do this one, 2415, and I need to make sure this is ExCITE. Again, I need to go in and clean out my stuff. All right, so I'm going to click save. I have my stuff saved. We're good. I have the draw square. You'll notice that my title has changed from what I had it before. And so now it's draw square. Okay. I haven't shared it yet. I'm not worried about that right now. Not this particular one. So although I shared the other one, this one is not shared yet. Any questions so far? We good? Save your code, save your code, save your code. How many times have you had, Barbara, have you had your students not save their code and they've cried?
Quite a number.
Quite a number.
Quite a number. They thought it automatically. First thing I say is it doesn't automatically save. Save your code.
Yes, yes. And we've talked about getting that feature put into it. They're worried about doing other features and stuff like that. And we'll get into some of those other features. But right now, save your code. All right. So now we're going to do some drawing, right? And we want to do our drawing by going to the pen. Okay, so now you're going to go over to your palette, which is up here. This is your palette. Okay, and you're going to click on your pen palette. And your pen palette is going to give you a whole nother list of blocks to look at. And if you notice this is kind of similar looking to Scratch, right? You think, oh, it looks a little like Scratch, but it's definitely got a lot more tools and things that it can do. We have our pen commands. And we want to do, we're going to drag and we're going to snap the pen down block. And when we're thinking about a pen being down on a piece of paper, I don't know if you can see me at all, but you're going to want to put the pen down. That's what we're looking at. So when you're working with your students, what is this pen down thing? It's the pen down. This is pencil, but this is down. Okay. And so you want to do that because you have to put your pen down so you can see the drawing. So let's go ahead and get pen down. And then it does want us to put the pen back up when we're done with that. And why would we want to bring our pen up? Yeah, so it stops the drawing, absolutely. So it stops the drawing. And so when you stop your drawing, like if you don't bring your pen up, it's going to draw all over the screen. And it'll continue drawing as the sprite will move from place to place. So that's why we'll bring our pen back up. All right, so let's click it. Oh. Okay, I clicked it once. I clicked it again. If I keep clicking it, what do we have? We have a square, right? So there are different ways to write the code from here, right? We can keep going in this kind of process. And what I can do, I need to have this code 4 times. So there's different ways that we can write this code. And to remember when I said right click was your friend? If you right click on the code and kind of all the way at the top where pin down is, you can click duplicate. Okay, and we can do this 4 times. Of course, we don't have to have all the pin down, pin up, but we're going to leave it that way, whatever. And then I have this twice, right? So to draw a square, I need it 2 more times. Okay, now if I click on it, oh, I can't tell what it does. I can't tell what it does. Let's see if the next slide is about, ooh, no, we're doing some backwards stuff here. So we can do some counterclockwise or clockwise. We have already went through this. I went ahead and I jumped ahead. So we've got some save your code coming up here, and you can save your code. I've kind of, when I'm doing these things, I will add things and take away from things, but this is kind of where we're at. So we've got to save your code. So make sure the code you have saved is this pin up, pin down thing. Okay. And then we'll get into, this is where you can have your students switch partners so that both students are driving and both students are navigators. Okay. Now we're going to get into resetting our stage. We only drew. We haven't even done that. I went way ahead. All right. I'm going to throw this away, y'all. Sorry, I went way ahead. I wanted the square really bad. So now we're going to go ahead and make an algorithm to reset the stage. Here in our slides, we've got go to X0, Y0, and point in direction 90 degrees. And then we're going to clear the drawings from the stage. Why would we want it to go back to X0, Y0?
So we could have a area to reset, like a central kind of area.
Yeah, right. So whenever the program starts, we know exactly where that sprite's going to be. Yeah, you're correct. That central area. And so let's go ahead and get that code. And the blue, this blue here, that's in what palette color or palette would I be going to? Motion, definitely. Thank you. So we're going to go to motion and we're going to get our XY, X0, Y0. In Snap, for those of you who are familiar with programming and have been working in industry and have done a little computer science before, in Snap, the X0, Y0 is in the center. Okay, in other languages, it may be down in the bottom left corner, right? But in Snap, let's go ahead and click over there. Our X0, Y0, see how my sprite went to that center spot right there? That's where Snap's 0 axis are. Okay, little different on the grid. Now, it also wants us to point in a direction, and it looks like we're still in the same palette. So let's go find our point in direction. What do you think this point in direction does? Yep, it's gonna turn the sprite to be pointing in a certain direction. If you take a look at this drop down arrow here, you're going to see that it is going to be pointing 90 degrees. It's going to point to the right. Negative 90 degrees would be to the left. 0 is up and 180 is down. So if I wanted my sprite pointing north in my program, I would want it to point where? Which number would I click?
0.
Yep. 0 would have my sprite pointing north. Let's go ahead and do that. Now it's pointing straight up. Okay. All right. So we do want to go 90 degrees. So I'm going to put 90 back in. And if you notice my square that I have still on my screen, you'll notice that it's kind of cattywampus. It's not straight. It's just a random square, not really in a straight. This is just tilted. So that's why we want to make sure that we have our sprites going in the direction that we want it to go and pointing in the direction that we want it to point, so that we can make sure that the square is drawn the way we want it to be drawn. Okay. Now, the last thing it wants us to do is it wants us to use this clear. And this clear, if we have our pen up and our pen down, to have a clear, it's like our eraser. So that's going to be under our pen tab, our pen palette. And we're going to take this clear. And clear will clear a lot of things. So clear is nice to have. And this sets up our program to clear and go to a particular spot on the stage, and then we can work from that spot. So we know exactly where we are. Go ahead and click it. Okay. Everybody good? And you should have this. It should kind of look like this. If it looks a little different, let's say you put the go to XY or go to XY, the clear, and then the point in the direction, it'll be fine. What would happen if we did clear and never mind. We're good. We have the pen down or the pen up already. So it wouldn't draw anything for us. But sometimes it's the students are going to be like, wait a minute, I have lines all over the place, and how come it didn't clear the line out? So being sure that it's in the right space for erasing the stuff on the screen is important. The point in 90 directions is not going to cause the sprite to draw anything, but the moving from different locations on the screen to get to the X0, Y0 location, the middle of the screen. If you don't have your pen up, it will cause a line to be drawn. And so the clear would need to definitely become after they go to X0, Y0. So if I put the clear before and then I went there and my pen was down, it would draw a line to go there and not clear my screen. All right, let's go ahead and save our code if you haven't saved it already. You know what? I haven't saved, and what's going to happen? My students tell me to save. And so, did you save your code? they want me to be sure I have my code so that the next day, if we are stuck on anything, we can go through it. So again, at this time is a good time for things to change. Now, let's go ahead and get into this this drawing the square and repeat block. First, we're going to draw it without the repeat. So let's go ahead and get this pattern and draw the square. I'm going to duplicate. What I want to do is just duplicate these things. I don't need to duplicate the pin up, pin down. So I'm going to pull this kind of apart. And I'm going to pull them apart. And I'm going to get that duplicate, and I need it. I've got it 4 times, right? 1. Oh, I can just duplicate it twice if I do it this way. Okay. So now I have everything. I've got my pen up, I got my pen down, and this is just making it happen. So if I were to click this, it would work. I could clear, and then I could click it and it would work. It's moving awful fast right now, drawing that screen. If I wanted to slow it down, I could do my stepping, and I could take a look at how slow we're going. Okay, and that shows my code running. Okay, so I clicked on these little footsteps. It's visible stepping. I put it in the middle. And if you then click on your code, you can see it'll highlight where the code is and running. It's a great tool for debugging. All right, so we have this, but do we see a pattern? Is there a repetitive pattern? What code can I break apart and put into a loop? What's the code that's done over and over again?
Move 50, turn 90.
Mm-hmm. Definitely. Yeah, we could use a loop, definitely, for the first. All right. So let's pull this out. This is our pattern, 50, 90. And we got 50, 90, and we have that 4 times. Okay. So let's just kind of pull apart this a little bit. This is what we're looking at. This is our pattern. All right, so now what we're going to do is we're going to go into a new palette. We're going to go over to our control. And in our control, we're going to look for the repeat block. Now, what if I just don't feel like looking for the repeat block? There's a little magnifying glass up right here. It says find blocks. And I can just type in repeat, and it'll find my block for me. I'm looking for this block. Ooh. And it also says it wants me to get this green flag. Let me go ahead and go into my control. Now I've got to get a couple of blocks. Let me just go get in my control. And here's my green flag. Shrink this down a little so you can see the code. All right, so we had this code. We broke it apart because we have this is a pattern, and we're going to repeat it. All right, so now we want to add the repeat block to the scripts area. We want to change the repeat to 4 times. Why do we only want it to go 4 times, right? If I had it at 10 times, it would do 10 times and it would do the same motions. But let's go ahead and just put 4. And we're going to snap all these together. So let's go ahead and get them all snapped together. This is the part we want to repeat. We don't have to do the pin up, pin down every time, right? Just when the square is done. So this is the part we want to repeat. And we're going to pop that into our pin down. And we're going to put our pin up right here. Do I need this code anymore? Maybe, maybe not. We can throw it away because it was easy enough to create, right? It was really easy to create. All right, so let me toss it away. I don't need it anymore. I want to keep my palette or my scripting area kind of clean. And speaking of keeping your scripting area kind of clean, when it gets really messy and you can't find anything, you can right click here on the scripting area and you can click clean up and it'll put your code kind of in straight areas and blocks and take all the pieces and just get them in order for you. All right, so now let's see what happens. I'm gonna clear my stuff. Okay, so it's cleared now. And then I'm gonna click on this. And it draws my square. And you notice how it hit the repeat block, went through the repeat block, came back into the repeat multiple times before going down to the pin up. So let's say we want this to start when the green flag is clicked. Let's go ahead and make sure when the green flag is clicked is in here. I'm going to hook it to my how I want the sprite to appear when the code is open and the green flag is clicked. So when it starts, when someone starts it, I want it to look like that. And my green flag is up here. That starts the code, that runs it. Okay. So I'm going to be using that. If you have a different way of doing this, this is okay. Because there are multiple ways to do a project, right? There's many ways to kind of get this square drawn. This is one way, and we can look at a couple of other ways and get a little deeper, get into a little bit of math. I don't say it's math until we get into it, and I'm like, oh my gosh, we just did math. So we have this and we're good, and I could connect everything together, but I'm not sure I want to do that yet. Okay, so does your code look like this? Yeah. Click on the sprite to see if it draws a square. Make sure your sprite is drawing a square. You may drag and drop unwanted scripts into the palette to delete them. We did that already. Okay, what did we not do? We didn't save our code yet. File, save. Cool. All right. So, now what we're going to do is we're going to do something that is a part of the AP exam, and it's this abstraction piece. Okay, so we're going to create a block, and this is a part of the AP exam. Students will need to create a block, so they're going to have a user create a block or a student create a block. And to make a block, well, what does abstraction mean? Let's get into abstraction a little bit. What do we think about abstraction? What is abstraction to you? What does abstraction mean to you?
something outside of normal. It's just a
Okay.
little different and skewed from normal.
Okay, right. So like Pablo Picasso's drawings and stuff.
Mhm.
Yeah. Or Dali, Salvador Dali with the melting clocks and things like that, right? That's kind of abstract work, right? That is. Anybody else have a different definition?
I think of it as like the essential characters.
Okay.
So like there was this game that we used to play with our kids where it would show a picture and it would just have like blocks of color that were different lengths, and then you would guess what cartoon character it was.
Okay. Okay. So based on the colors, you would guess what cartoon character it was.
Yeah, and how long they were. Yeah.
Oh, wow. Okay. Okay, that's cool. So, how many of y'all, when you press the brake in your car, know exactly what's going on to stop the car? You know a little bit about it, right? But some people don't know anything about it, right? So, what I know is I know if I put on the brake in my car, generally, sometimes they don't work, but I've not had that happen, so I'm kind of lucky. But if you put your brake on in the car, it stops. I know that's what's going to happen. I put my foot on the brake in the car and my car stops. I want that to happen. Do I need to know what's going on inside my car for that to happen? No, I just need to know how to use it. Press this pedal and the car stops. So what we're going to be looking at with abstraction in computer science is we're going to be looking at hiding how it does the thing. Okay, so we see the code here. We see what the code is doing. So how do we hide that code? We have a couple of ways to do that. And I'm gonna go through how I like to do mine, but I'm also gonna first show you that you can scroll all the way down in any of your palettes and click make a block. Okay? I'm not gonna do that because what's my friend? Right click. I'm gonna right click and make a block. If you want to kind of follow along with the slides, you can go to the motion, scroll all the way down to the bottom, and it's going to have you make a motion block, and it's going to put it in motion. I like to use my gray blocks, this other block, and the reason I like to use this is because it will always live under the variables palette. And I will know where my blocks are, and I will know which ones are created by me. Okay? They always live at the bottom of, if you do choose a color, so if you choose to do this under motion, this one's doing it under motion. If you choose to do it under motion, it's going to live at the bottom of motion. Okay? But I'm going to do mine, and it's going to live under variables, and it's going to live all the way at the bottom down here under the make a block. I like to do mine that way. Barbara, I don't know. How do you prefer to do yours?
I like right click.
Okay, you like the right click, and do you also
Yeah, I right click it.
Yeah, and do you also like to use the gray, or do you put yours under whatever palette you want it to be in?
I use gray most of the time because then, you know, I let the students know that basically they just go to the bottom of the variables and everything they've created is there.
Yeah, because sometimes you forget how you saved it, what name you saved it under. So going to search for it is a problem. So definitely this is just one of the things I like to do. When they first started having the blocks, they didn't have this other color, and then they discovered that this is a little easier to find the things. Okay. So what we're going to do now is we're going to do make a block, and we're going to give it a meaningful name. Okay, so when we're making our blocks, this is kind of, and we're doing some naming conventions and things like that, we want to know exactly what that block is going to do. What is that block going to do? It's going to draw a square. Okay, draw a square. You can type draw square in any way you want. If you want to just say X, which is going to be a terrible name for the block, you can go ahead and put that. Right now, we're gonna want to use draw square. It's a good name for it. We know what it's going to do. Oh, I forgot also. Actually, let me get rid of this. Let me come back. No, come here. Delete. Okay, I'm gonna go back in, right click, make a block. You'll notice here, we've got the command, the reporter, the predicate, and now we have an event hat. Did you note about this one, Barbara? This is new. The event hat is new. So Snap developers are doing new things all the time. People will ask for things and they'll be like, you know what, that's a good idea. And then they'll go and make that for you. Right now, we're doing a command. And so what we want to do is we're clicking on the command because we want it to do something. We want it to perform something. We'll get into reporters and we'll get into predicates later, but right now we want it to be a command. So make sure that it's on command and it's highlighted. And then we've got draw square. And however you're comfortable using your names and your naming conventions is fine. All right, so now I've got this block editor, and with the draw square, you're gonna see these pluses and everything like that. And you can add more things to it if you want to. So if you go in to update it and change it, you can click the plus sign and it will allow you to add more things. Also, there's the lines down in the corner here. So if you need to make it bigger or smaller or shrink it or move it around, you can do that. Now, we're going to take this code that we've created outside in the scripting area and we're going to drag it in and we're going to drop it there. Okay. And then we click OK. Now, I've got draw square. Do I know what's inside draw square? Yes, because I wrote that code, right? But does the person using it, do they know what's inside it? No, it just says it's going to draw a square. Let's click on the draw square. It worked. Right? So we'll do the click green flag. And then that'll clear everything. And then I can click on draw square. And it's running. Now, how do I get back inside that thing? Remember, right click is your friend. Right click, and then we're going to come down and we want to edit this block. And there's our code. I'm going to do that one more time. Okay, so we have our draw square that we've created. We don't know what's inside. We just know it's going to do its job. Right? It's like the brakes in the car. But maybe my brakes aren't working so good. And maybe I know a little bit about brakes and I need to go inside and fix my brakes, right? Maybe my square is broken and I need to go inside and see what's up with my square. I click edit and I can come back in here and I can edit it from here. And once you start editing, you'll get an undo button in here. There's undo and redo. You can also use your hotkeys in there as well as outside. So your Control Z and Control Shift C. And if you're on a Mac, I even know how to do that. So that's what we've got. Is everybody good? All right. Anytime you have a question, do not just stop me and have me go back, okay? All right, so we've made our own draw square. We've done all this. We've done what it's told. We did the okay. So we're good here. And we did all of these things. This down here, this okay and apply. Let me pull the draw square up again. This okay and apply. So if I were going to bring this in here, oh wow, it's just okay now. I don't see okay and apply anymore. It used to be okay and apply. I used to be able to keep this open, but it's not doing that anymore. So another little update. So now it's just okay and it's going to close it out.
On mine, I have okay and apply.
You do
Okay,
that.
apply and cancel.
Okay, that's good. I don't know why mine's not showing up. That's makes me sad. Okay. Well, that's good. I'm glad you I'm glad you have that. If it goes away, as it may when they do updates, and I'll show you where the updates section is on the curriculum so you can see updates if something happens. I don't know why mine is, I might be on the newer version, I don't know, or they may be doing some updates on one of the versions. All right, so we've got that. We have our square. We know where our square is because we've put our square in the variables. This particular square on the slides, this one is our it's in the blue, so it's under motion. All right. So we've got that. We put it in there. Everything's good. We've created our block. Custom blocks. This is our abstraction, and that's hiding the script. And we're giving it a meaningful name. So we know what it does, but we don't have to know what's inside it. Your students will be needing to know how to make this. And in a SNAP, they will, in the first unit, they will be creating abstractions. So it's creating them right away because this is something they will need to have in their program. All right. So the next one is save your code. Okay. So I have the code saved. And now what we're going to do, oh, activity 1 is complete. Okay. I think it's a good time to take a small break. Tony, what do you think? Yes. So let's come back at 10:35. Is that okay? 10:35? Yes, 10:35. And we will come back. So take a break, take a moment, get up, move around. All right, we should be coming back in. Okay, we'll give everybody a moment to get back here. And I want to check in. Is everybody at a good place? Okay. And for anybody who might be feeling that either we are moving slow. We're going to move slow for this. This is introductory. Some of you may already know what's going on here, but it's kind of good to just go ahead and go slow with it as we get through just learning the environment. And some may think, oh, we're moving at a breakneck speed. Wait a minute, I need to slow down. And that's absolutely okay. If you want me to slow down a little bit more, that's okay. We can do that. I want people to feel comfortable with the platform and with how it works. And I want you to kind of just experience this. All right. What we have not done, we have completed our activity, but what we have not done is we haven't learned about exporting the project. We did learn earlier about sharing the project, so I'm going to go ahead and make sure mine is shared and we can go through that process. And then we're going to also go through the process of exporting the project, which will download an XML file to your computer. And I'm going to show you how you can drag that back into Snap. That file, you just drag it from your computer and you just drag it right into the Snap scripting area and it will open up that project. Okay. Make sure. Okay. Make sure that wasn't somebody I needed to. Okay, we're good. Let me mute that so I don't get distracted anymore. We are good. So to export or to share a project, so I'm going to make this big. To share a project, again, we're going to go in and we're going to we've saved this already, right? I want to do a save as, and I've got this Draw Square 2025, so I'm going to go down and find that. Luckily, you all won't have the same mess that I have, except for Barbara. She'll have that mess. She understands what I'm going through because she's been doing this for a little bit. Now, she hasn't been working with the hummingbird kits on this, so that's going to be new for her. So I've got the Draw Square. What did I call it? Draw Square. There it is. Draw Square 2025 ExCITE. All right. So I'm going to click share. And yes. And you'll notice that now my URL, which had just been this first part of the Snap environment, now has my username and my project name. Marnie Hill Draw Square ExCITE. Save. And to do this, I'm going to kind of show you how this works. I can copy that URL and I'm going to drop it into the chat. And let me go and say this is Draw Square. Okay. I got a couple of double E's here. Hang on. Draw Square. So this is the Draw Square project that I'm sending you. And if you look at the URL, you can read it's got the project name and it's got my name. That means it's a shareable link and you can open that up and it will have the Draw Square that I have created.
Hey, Marnie, I have a question.
Yes.
When I do the share, it doesn't come up like my name and it doesn't come up where I can, it doesn't look like yours.
Okay, so what you can do if yours is not popping up already with this, What you can do is you can go and you do your, you can go and click open now, and you click open and you go down to your draw square.
Oh, so open.
And you
Okay.
can click open and then it will repopulate. Sometimes it works different on different computers sometimes. So your students will have the same problem. So I'm really glad that you
Yeah. Thank you.
yeah. So sometimes you have to refresh the screen, or you do it like a refresh up here and it'll repopulate it and give you the correct URL. And you want to make sure that your students see their draw square and the ExCITE, and they're not going to always pay attention to you. I mean, they just don't. So then you have to repeat it over and over again until you say, okay, you got to give me the code. Somehow I have to have the code. You didn't give me the code. Okay, so now the other way to do
Excuse me.
yes.
Excuse me, I am really sorry to interrupt, but I was paying attention, but you're moving just a little too fast, and now right now I'm completely lost.
Okay.
My file save as and all that stuff is not working. It just gives me the ability to save, and then the screen goes away.
Okay, so what I'm going to do is it does, when you do the save, it'll do the save, right? Once you have it saved, you're going to need to go back into the file. This is kind of a little tedious. You can't do both at the same time.
Which file? I don't see.
Your little file, your little paper at the top. There's a paper at the top right here.
Mm-hmm.
And you click that. And you're going to click open, or you're going to click save. You can click save again or save as. And then likely it will open up in your activity will show at the very top, but you're going to need to come down and click on it. So find your activity, click on it, and then you click the share.
Okay, my activity is not in there, and I've saved it like 3 or 4 times.
Okay. Hang on
it isn't in there at all.
I'm going to pause my share, and I'm going to want you to share.
This is too many screens. I'm getting a little confused right here because I don't have 2 separate screens.
Yeah.
I have one and it's split, and I'm trying to keep up.
Okay, no, that's fine. That's why I want you to talk with me about it. Okay, can you share your screen?
Which one?
The
snap screen?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And let's see how we do that. And how do I do?
Okay. In the bottom of these, go ahead and close the or minimize the others, like your split screen. Go ahead and make your snap the bigger one, I guess.
Okay, I have.
Okay, and then you should have your Zoom. Is your Zoom to have a like a bar where you can see the tools at the bottom?
Nope. No, ma'am.
Okay, are you minimized?
No, I thought you said to open it.
On the Zoom, are you minimized on the Zoom?
The Zoom? Yes.
Okay, so go ahead and expand the Zoom.
Expand the Zoom.
Yeah.
Okay. Hold on just a second. Okay. I don't know why I can't see everything at the bottom. There's only a little bit of it.
Yeah.
I don't know. Never had this problem before. I'm just trying to the view speaker gallery. I don't know. I'm lost. You can go ahead. I'll just try to catch up on my own. That's okay.
I don't want to leave you behind right now.
No. The if you roll your mouse towards the bottom of the Zoom screen, it may reveal a menu at the bottom with some information, but it will disappear after a couple of seconds. It's one of their improvements. So as you get towards the bottom, do you have a screen that shows the various images of the different participants so you can actually see us in your Zooms?
Mr. Gordon, I see a button at the bottom now, but it's like I can't even see the whole thing. Okay, I see a little green with a green arrow pointing up. It says share.
That's it. That's the one.
Yeah, but it's so hidden. I don't know.
Yeah.
So
It's
okay.
very frustrating. I totally understand.
Yeah. Click on that little green arrow and it'll ask you, do you want to share your screen?
And then
Right.
you pick
Okay.
the screen you want to share.
Okay.
There we go.
There we go. Perfect.
Okay, I'm going to move this over so I can see it a little better. Okay. Yeah, they've done so many updates. All right, so what I would like you to do is that where your cloud is, to the left of your cloud, there's a file tab.
Right here. Right.
Yeah. Click that. Click save as. Let's check this out. Draw a square. Click the save button. Go ahead and just click save. Oh, it exported you. That's interesting. Click cancel and let's go back into your cloud and let's see if it actually bumped you out.
I think she was saving hers to desktop instead of cloud. I don't know if that makes a difference or not.
She is, and that's okay because that's what we're getting ready to do. Let's go ahead and log out and then log back in and see if that gives us. And it may be you might be on a school computer and it may not allow you to do this. Though you're not. Okay, click the cloud and go ahead and log in again.
Well, I'll try it again.
That's okay. Okay, cool. You're logged in. Now let's go back to our save again and see if we can do the save as again. There we go. Click on your draw square now. So sometimes Snap will, if there's an interruption or anything, it may pop you out of it. And even though the cloud looks like it's logged in, it may not be fully connected. And that's, I think, what happened with you. And so this may be something that happens with your students and you all will just need to be aware that this may happen. And so what you can do is the process that we just did. Now go ahead and click share.
And if you look down in the left, you see where I have draw squared and draw square one. So this is like my third time saving it.
Yeah.
I'm done. Yeah.
You're good.
Yes.
Click yes.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now go ahead and click your go back into your little file thing. Okay, do the let's just do open. Let's go to open. Click your draw square. Click open. Oh wow, it did not save it, did it? Okay, let's go back into share again. For some reason, it did not let you share.
There was an
Okay.
option to share right there on the open.
Yeah, you got to click it in the highlight it. Click on that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Highlight it and click share again. For some reason, it did not share.
Yeah, and I said yes.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Oh, there it is. You got it now. If you look at your URL now, you've got it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you do. See, so it has your username and it has the draw square. So finally, it's shared. Okay, so that's good. You have it. It's in your system. It's been shared, and we're good with that. So thank you for stopping and letting us work through that because this is something that could happen with your students.
Okay. Yes, ma'am. And thank you so much for it. And I apologize for the interruption.
No, 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 no. Do not apologize at all. This is perfect. This is our learning environment, and we're learning about things that are going to be happening with our students too. Okay. And I think I'm going to go ahead and okay. Now with your share screen, you're going to need to stop your share. There we go. Good. Awesome. Perfect, perfect, perfect. All right, so we did the one way. Now, when we were looking at Capricia's screen and it was saving to her computer, that was saving to the XML file. with the share that we did, we can go change the code, and that code will always change as we're under that share. With the XML file, which we're going to be doing now, that code will remain the same all the time. Okay, so let's go ahead and get into doing our export. And I got to share my screen. So let me get in there. Share. Boom. Boom. And do not feel at all, do not worry about stopping me and going through something. Okay, it's important to get all of the pieces. Okay, so now we're going to share this as an XML file, and the XML file is going to look crazy, but let's go ahead and get it done. We're going to click on File, and we're going to click Export Project. Okay, Export Project. And this is going to save the project data as an XML file to your Downloads folder. So let's click that. And we've got this draw square. This is in my OneDrive. I'm going to put it on my, let's just put in my downloads. Okay, so I've got this in my downloads. Yeah. Which downloads? We don't know, but we'll figure it out. So I've got my draw square ExCITE 2025. It's already named it for me, so that's good. I'm gonna click save. And you'll notice it went into my my downloads, and now I've got this download. There are with your students, they can send you the file from their computer. They can send you the XML file. If I were to come and open this XML file, and I clicked on it, and it's opening it in Edge. So let me get it let me drag it over to the screen. It needs to be on, so you okay. So this is what it would look like. This is what it looks like, the XML file. All right. It's a mess. If I were to open it on my computer, it would just look even messier, right? But let's say I click this, I clicked new. Now I don't have the code. I don't have it. And I can go get my file. So I'm going to go open up my files. And I've got my draw square here. I'm going to make this, why is this so big? Everything's so big. Okay, so I've got my draw square. I'm going to take this file and I'm going to drag it and I'm going to drop it in to Snap. Okay. And Capricia, your computer was actually saving it to an XML file, so you would not have lost your code. So you may have a bunch of little stuff saved onto your downloads or something like that. But here it is. And you'll notice that it drops it back into the snap.berkeley here. It's not showing a shared file. This is what it's showing. Okay. Don't worry, we're going to do this often enough that we're going to get used to this process. Okay. And always ask if you need some assistance on doing this part. Okay. We've shared it, we've saved it, we've exported it. We can publish it, but we don't need to worry about publishing it. Publishing it, we'll put it on the Snap forum, and we'll go into that later at RPD. Everybody good? All right. So I'm now